Okay, so question 11. The relative frequencies of the number of absences in a school on 5 days are shown. So here we've got a frequency table, and here we've got the relative frequency, and underneath we have days of the week. Okay, so the relative frequency, okay, is to do with probability. Okay, so on Monday we have a relative frequency of 0.03, on Tuesday a relative frequency of 0.15, and so on. And again, I can't emphasize this enough, when you're reading a graph, make sure you understand what all these little digits or little squares are and what they represent. Okay, so the question asks, there are 1,600 students in the school. How many more absences were there on Friday than on Monday? So on Monday we have a relative frequency of 0.03. On Friday we have a relative frequency of 0.05. So we can see that there were higher absences obviously on a Friday than there were on a Monday. Now what we could do is we could actually work out the number of people that were absent on the Monday, work out the number of people that were absent on the Friday, and then subtract the two numbers. But it's got to be a lot simpler. If I know that the relative frequency for Friday is 0.05 and on Monday is 0.023, sorry, I was jumping it there, is 0.03, there's a difference of 0.02. So if I find out what the relative frequency is as a number for 0.02, that automatically gives me the answer. So because this is worth 3 marks, I will still write down what I know. So Monday relative frequency equals 0.03. Friday relative frequency 0.05. So I would say that there's a difference of 0.02. So all I need to do now is multiply 1,600 by 0.02. So the difference equals 1,600 multiplied by 0.02. And this goes back to real basics. Can you multiply by decimal numbers? So I move the decimal point back. Remember, I just want to multiply 2 by this number. So I move the decimal point back 2 places. So I make a mark there, 2, that I have to replace. So I have 1,600 multiplied by 2. So 2 noughts are 0, 2 noughts are 0, 2 6s are 12, carry 1, 2 1s are 2, and 1 is 3. Now my decimal point is here, and it's got to move back 2 places. So it moves once, twice. So it becomes 32.00, or just plain 32. Okay. and that's the answer to the question. So you'll see as I do this, even though I'm walking you through this, I still work quite slowly. So it's worth working slowly and thinking it through. It's better to get half the paper right and know that you've got none wrong and run out of time than to rush through the paper and get them all wrong. Okay, so take your time, and this is just practice.